Welcome to the V Twin Life. Another milepost as we're going down the highway, talk with people who just enjoy motorcycles and why the heck we enjoy life on two wheels. V Twin Life is brought to you by Crash In Clothing, better known as Crash Inc. across the World Wide Web. Man, these guys got a lot of great products. Brad is a dealer for many places. You guys can check him out. Great guy out of the Pacific Northwest down in Dallas, Oregon. So if you need something, man, hit up Crash Inc. They got what you need. And we can't forget Wild Ass. Tell you what, I'm a commercial truck driver, and these Wild Ass cushions are made for more than just motorcycles. Anywhere you're going to plant your tush, dude, get a Wild Ass under it. Make yourself comfortable. You can't forget Custom Dynamics. You want to put some great lights on your bike. You want to be seen. You want to see what you're doing at night. Hey, check out Custom Dynamics. They got a lot of great stuff. Hey, can't forget Mateer Motorcycle Lawyers. These guys aren't just attorneys, but these are guys that ride. You get in an accident, you need some help, get a hold of Mateer. These guys are great. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into another milepost of the V Twin Life. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday here on the V Twin Life. Today we got milepost 162 with Josh Seabolt and the Journey 10 Foundation, which we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Well, we're going to start off like we always do. But first, hey, Josh, thanks for coming and hanging out tonight and want to share some
Man,
stories.
I'm excited. Awesome. Really, really excited. Thanks for inviting me.
Heck yeah, man. So let's dive into this, man. So how'd you get into motorcycles? Where did it start for you?
I think I was thinking about that today, actually. It started pretty young age. I didn't ride for a long time, but man, my grandpa, he was an old school biker. He rode all over the nation on a FXR, no helmet. You know what I'm saying? Like he was an old school biker, and I remember just uh, watching him, and he was my best friend until he passed away. And he really inspired me to love motorcycles. I remember getting the first bicycle I can remember was a bicycle that looked like a Harley Davidson Sportster. And so, man, it had the it had the handlebars, it had the tank. I mean, it was just really cool. And then, my dad rode motorcycles, and so I was in it from a young age. I got a little 50 dirt bike at a young age. And then I just stopped doing it for a while. I didn't went through high school and got married, started working and all that kind of stuff. And just I always had that in the back of my head that one day I wanted to get into riding and get a motorcycle. And then, a couple years ago, I was kind of in a place where I was under a lot of stress and just kind of a rough time in my life. Great marriage, great career, all that kind of stuff, but just a rough time. And my wife came to me one day and she said, "You know what? You've talked about motorcycles for a long time. I think you should buy one." And I give all the credit to my wife and the Lord for helping me figure that out. But I bought a motorcycle and been riding ever since, maybe 3 years ago, and it's really been a game changer. They call it wind therapy for a reason, So that's kind of how it happened. Started as a kid and then kind of redeveloped as an adult.
It is true. I mean, like I said, the wind therapy, and I know it's like we were talking the other day. It doesn't have to be an all day thing. I mean, it could be 10, 15 minutes and just that little bit of
Yeah,
time. And, you come
yeah,
back up that smile,
that's
and
right.
you can feel rejuvenated. And, man, it's a great thing to have in life. And, when people ask, that don't ride, well, what's it like? It's hard to explain it.
Yeah, it is hard to explain it, but it's man, there's something about riding a motorcycle and the different places, different the smells you smell, you don't smell in a car, right? The things you feel,
Yeah.
it does something to your senses that, man, it can take a lot of worries away. You know you know what I'm saying? It can take a lot of worries away. It can relieve a lot of stress, and sometimes you need longer rides, and sometimes it's just going around the block to relieve some pressure, and it really works out. So yeah, it's just different.
Yeah. This is true. So when you got, once you picked up, and you got back into it, what kind of really sparked it to want you, to get back out there and go?
Yeah, part of my story, Denver, is I got to a point in my life where I had gained a lot of weight, and it's part of my testimony. It's part of my story. And so I've actually today, I mean, it's a journey, it's up and down, right? But ever since I got a motorcycle, I'm down about 130 pounds.
Hey,
And
that's
so,
awesome, man. Congrats.
yeah. And so when I first got back into it, I bought a trike. And so I got a Harley Davidson trike, and man, I was just addicted. But I only had that trike maybe 3 months when I was ready to start leaning. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Ah,
and so then I got a Heritage and then a Road Glide, and I've kind of had a few since then. But it just I just kind of got that addiction, you know what I mean, to ride and to see places and to go places I've never been before. And so it just really it's something that's a really vital part of my life. And so yeah, I just love it, man. And so I think started out just wanting a hobby, wanting to relieve some stress, and it kind of became something that you think about and you talk about. It becomes a part of your conversation, and man, it's just kind of becomes who you are a little bit.
oh, for sure. So no, earlier we were talking. It's like you were talking. So you went to the Taco Run last year.
I did, yeah, I did. I went to Taco Run last year, and then I just got this year was my second taco run. It's probably my favorite thing to go to, partly because it's only like an hour and 45 minutes from my house, but but it's really awesome.
So how'd you find out about it? What got you turned on to wanting to go there? I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
so my best friend who rides for Journey 10 with me, a guy named Mark Wright, he's been riding motorcycles forever. He's been a long distance rider forever. And so my first taco run, he said, "Man, they got this thing, the taco run, a lot of long distance riders will be there." And so I went down there yeah, I guess a little over a year ago for the first time. And man, it was just a great environment. I had never been around anything like it. Honestly, it was just like everybody's friendly, everybody's hospitable, everybody's talking to everybody. And I remember not knowing anybody and walking past the taco place, and there was a guy kind of sitting on his Road King at the time, and it was Frankie Mountains actually. And I started talking to him, and man, he
Oh,
was so
Frankie.
friendly. Yeah, he was so friendly and kind, and I asked him questions and he answered them, and he didn't act like I was bugging him. He wasn't in a rush, you know what I mean? And so man, that just was a real that kind of I don't know if I've ever even told him that. We're not real close, but that marked me as like, man, I want to be a part of this community. These guys really uh there's something special about it. So that was my first one, and then I just went to my second one just last couple weeks ago. So really cool.
Frankie is a genuine, just kind-hearted,
Yeah,
amazing, an
absolutely.
amazing friend. We talk at least every couple weeks, because Frankie's up here in Washington, he's in Yakima, but no, Frankie is a super great guy. I really enjoy riding with Frank, and the friendship that
Yeah,
I built with him over the years has just been
yeah,
absolutely amazing.
yeah.
I remember being Facebook friends. I think we passed each other like 3 or 4 times on the highway and on 2 lane highways, and but that was you and Texans. It was crazy before we finally actually were able to meet in person a few years back, and this has been a lot of fun because I guess it'd be 5 years ago because we've been
Yeah,
doing
that's
Monsters Over
cool.
Mountains. This year will be year 5, and it's been a great friendship. And he is a genuine, amazing person.
Yeah, yeah. You find a lot of those people in the motorcycle community, and especially the long distance motorcycle community. Everybody comes from different walks of life, different skill levels, different beginner, intermediate, advanced. Everybody kind of helps each other out. It's pretty cool to watch it unfold.
Oh, very true. It is. So you enjoy traveling by 2 wheels and getting out?
I do, I really do. And I don't I'm kind of a homebody by nature. And so it's funny when I'm a lot more inept to go somewhere on two wheels than I am a car. If you want to make me cringe, just tell me I got to go on a road trip in a car. Uh so I enjoy seeing places on a motorcycle, and just going to little greasy spoons and different towns I've never been to. And I love riding at night and those kind of things. I'm doing Mural Madness right now that the Iceman's putting on, and just stuff like that is really fun, man. Just seeing stuff you've never seen before, and just really enjoy that.
So have you had a chance to meet Jason in person?
I have, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have. I've met Iceman and Hopper, and they've both been incredible guys to me. And I even got to go to Houston and visit the goat, man. And so that was a cool experience, and got to
Oh, it's
take him some
awesome.
Buffalo Bills gear. So that was a cool experience. So yeah, the whole community is just really, really accepting. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is extremely true.
Yeah,
So,
pretty amazing.
Well, let's kind of get into this. The Journey 10 Foundation. Kind of how that
Yeah,
came about. Because
yeah,
what
yeah,
I've read and what I shot you a message, and I love getting doing talk with getting tongue tying myself here. Talk with individuals like yourself that want to do
yeah,
something for a greater good with
yeah,
motorcycling, and people start
yeah,
different foundations. And when I was reading about yours, I say, hey, this would be
yeah,
kind of cool, and
yeah,
so I kind of want to get the backstory, and then we can share about it and
yeah.
see the growth.
Yeah, my wife, this is what she does for a living. She travels across the country and helps at assisted living centers and nursing homes provide, I'm going to butcher this, but provide education and resources for them to care for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. So in the midst of this, she went back to school and got her doctorate and all that crazy stuff, and she said she came to me a year ago, about a year and a half ago, actually. Journey 10's been going for a year, but about a year and a half ago, and she said, I want to do something for people who have no, resources to go get these things, whether it be families that are low income or families that have been caught off guard by Alzheimer's dementia and can't afford to get respite care. She said, I want to do something for organizations and churches to help them figure out how to help people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I just told her to do it, and she developed it. She developed Journey 10 because 10 million people a year worldwide get diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia-related diseases.
God, that's a
And so
lot
she
of people.
started this thing, yeah. And so that's why it's called Journey 10 Foundation. And so I helped her get that off the ground. When I say help, that word's loose. She did most everything and got, 501(c)(3) foundation status and record time and all the stuff, But in the midst of that, over the last, year, I've seen her develop it and build a foundation. And I was actually inspired by Mile Monsters, who I love. Just about charity writing and writing for a cause and it was probably I don't know, 3 months back or so that my friend Mark, who rides with Journey 10, he said, why don't we turn this into something we can help Nicole with, why don't we do rides for Journey 10? So that's kind of how it developed. We kind of came up with a plan on how can we take something we love and help this organization that my wife started that is going to be really valuable to people, I think. Journey 10 is a special thing. There's really honestly not a lot of organizations with this same mission of education and resources. So yeah, it just kind of grew really organically. We started figuring out ways to do cool rides and to get people involved. And so again, I kind of stole I thought of like Mile Monsters and them riding for the incredible cause they ride for. It's like we're just kind of doing something like that for, Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's kind of how it started very organically and over time. So
So why Alzheimer's and dementia? Was there a personal connection there, or was just
yeah,
something that you wanted to
yeah.
help with just because of what it does to families?
Yeah, there was. My wife is a speech language pathologist by trade, and so but when she went into that, she quickly went to the side of SLPs that work with Alzheimer's and dementia. And part of that is because her grandfather had dementia and ended up at, uh, turns out it was Lewy body's dementia. So she dealt with that, and she took that, and now she travels all over the nation sharing that story. Her grandfather's story is in her presentations she gives. So yeah, it was very personal, very close to home, and so it's something she was passionate about. But on top of that, what we saw over the last couple of years is I actually pastor a church, and in our church we started having people's parents or grandparents get diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, and we would come alongside those families in our church and help them. And that's kind of what made Nicole think that, man, there's got to be a resource. And when we couldn't find that resource, it was kind of, find a need and fill it. And she began to develop it. And that's kind of how Journey 10 happened. So it was very personal. It was very practical. It just was birthed out of family history and birthed out of our church and birthed out of people that we walked through in these situations, And so I think that's what makes it cool, Denver, is, it's just, um, it's something that was birthed out of a real passion. And so I'm just excited to come alongside my wife and help her and raise funds and just really raise awareness more than anything, you know.
Yeah, and it's crazy to say that, 10 million people a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
It is, man. It's a lot. And you don't come across many people who haven't been affected by it. I mean, you don't talk to many people who will say, "Yeah, my great uncle had it or my grandpa had it or my mom had it." I mean, there's just a lot of people you come across on a daily basis that you find out, man, they've been affected with Alzheimer's or dementia. And there's real needs out there with people, that can catch a family off guard. Single mom ends up taking care of her dad. That's a scenario we walked through, and those people need help and they need ways to get breaks and respite care and all these things. And so, yeah, it just affects a ton of people.
Anybody listening, and of course, for people that also are going to find this on the streaming platforms, journey10foundation.org. Like, if you've seen the video,
Yeah,
I got the
yeah,
website scrolling across the bottom. You can find more information out about Journey 10 and their
yeah,
goals and what they have going on. 'Cause it's pretty, amazing thing what you guys are doing, what you're starting.
yeah,
It's always
yeah,
neat to see people like yourselves that, doing something to help others. And,
yeah,
that's why, part of what sparked me, seeing you guys on Facebook, is like, hey, I want to get a hold of it and hear more about this
yeah,
and, help just do what I can to spread spread the word. And
yeah,
it's why I enjoy doing this. And, it's neat to find out more about different organizations like yourselves and foundations and people wanting to help other people. It's a great
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Absolutely, man. And it's selfishly, it's just cool to be able to take motorcycles and do something like this with it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And so, there's that selfish deal behind it as well as I get to ride more. And so,
It is, it's like I've always said with, the stuff I got going on, when you can take something that you really enjoy doing, but
yeah,
you can do it for a greater good and an amazing cause,
yeah,
man, it is a 100%
that's
win-win.
right. That's right. Absolutely, man. And it's such a cool thing to get to do what we love and man, help people along the way.
Oh, it is. You got, let me go to the comments here because I'm on a different screen on my screen. Iowa Hog Rider. Brady's a great friend of mine. We've actually met when I was working for Wild Ass. We're in Sturgis. And like I said,
Okay.
that's awesome. He goes, I'm dealing with dementia with several family members myself. And Brad is a great guy and a super cool dude.
That's
And
awesome.
somebody proud, you call a friendship. And it's amazing doing this, getting to meet the people that, you're
Yeah.
over here hanging in the side chat to come in and support them. But then when you travel different places and everybody and they come in
Yeah.
and when you get to meet face to face and the friendships you build over, social media, the world that we all
Yeah.
live in now, but when you can meet them face to face and continue those friendships, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you
They'll turn
realize how
in.
small the world is that you're in.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was like we were talking, when you were first telling me about the first talker one, it's like, I met this one guy, I met Frankie, and it's like, holy cow, Frankie's one of my great
Yeah.
friends. And
Yeah.
it is a small world when you can travel like Frankie. I know when I was looking at it, my wife and I were talking about the taco run the other night, and was it 2,100 miles from my house?
Wow.
And
Man.
Frankie, oh yeah, it's a good day ride.
Yeah. Quick there and back. I actually met a guy. We were friends on Facebook and didn't realize it, but I met a long distance rider in at the Taco Run this year at the gas station, and he rode a BMW, and he had he lives in the Flatirons, up in Boulder, Colorado area, and so
Oh,
he
you
had
talking
man.
about John Gunner?
No, no. His name is Ed,
Oh,
and
okay.
so we had met at the gas station, and yeah, he had left, that night, sometime in the middle of the night, and rode 700 or 800 miles, and had a taco, and went right back home. And that's kind of how it is, and it's pretty cool that you can do that, you can get across the nation, and man, it's a cool adventure.
Yeah, I know Gunnar Johnson. I think he went down the taco run this year. Who he lives up in Monument, Colorado.
Okay.
He's another super amazing guy.
Yeah.
Does a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, always trying to help other people, and with what
Yeah.
stuff he has going on.
Yeah. That's cool.
But it is cool, as I can talk about the individuals within the long distance motorcycle community, I mean, and not just long
Yeah.
distance. I mean, within the motorcycle community together. There's so many motorcyclists that do such amazing things for other people and charitable
Absolutely.
donations and organizations they create, and you know all the mean bikers ain't so mean when you get to know them. They might look, a little
Not at
rough
all.
and
Not at
questionable,
all.
but when you take the extra
Yeah.
few minutes and you have a conversation, you find out, hey, this guy's not half bad.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. You meet some of the nicest, coolest people you're ever going to meet in your life, you know. So they would be there for you and help you, and it's a great community to be a part of.
Or sometimes I look back at, a few conversations I had, and whether, you're out riding somewhere middle of nowhere and you pull up this little tiny, for me, I did it once and was Ross Lake General Store. I was doing one of my first IBA runs, and I missed my gas stop in Coeur d'Alene because a truck cut me off. I was like, hey, I'll hit the next exit to get fuel. And little did I know the one I was trying to get was the last exit. They start rolling these little mountain passes and my gas lights on. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And I see
Yeah.
this little signs like, I think Ross Lake might be 10 to 15 miles after Coeur d'Alene. It's this little gas pump. And I pull and there's like two pumps. And then, this old farmer gets out of his old pickup and, the overalls on. He's looking at the motorcycle and all of a sudden starts telling me stories when he was riding. And, that, you're doing the IBA stuff, time is critical. So you try to get in and out quick. But I probably spent 10 minutes in the gas pump and he was telling me some cool stories. And, just it's neat that a motorcycle can spark something in a conversation in the middle of nowhere. Somebody you have no idea,
Yeah.
you don't know whatsoever, but you can have a great conversation with them.
Right. Yeah, that's right, man. The people you meet, the people you come across, and man, I don't believe that stuff's by accident, you know? And man, it's amazing the connections you can make that you realize later that it was all kind of weaved together. You know what I'm saying? Like it mattered and it kind of, all came together maybe later in the future or whatever. But it's amazing the people you encounter.
Right. So, do you guys got any plans? I know I've seen some of your pictures. You guys been doing some, going
Yeah.
places and spreading the word about
Yeah.
Journey 10. So, do you got any
Yeah.
plans this year of stuff you got coming up that you're going to try to put
Yeah,
you got
we
going?
do. Probably in the next month, we're going to start announcing some stuff and some dates, you know. One of the things I'm doing is Mark and I both are going to do is I pastor a church, you know, and so I started thinking, okay, I want to put together some big rides. I want to put together some long rides that people can be involved in, whether they want to ride a long time or not. They could ride with us a little bit and then break off or whatever, you know. I want to put together some of that. And so I started thinking about, well, I got to be home by Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I got a job during the week. Pastoring's not just on Sundays, you know, and so, um, my day off is Friday. And so I got to be home by Sunday. So I can leave work Thursday afternoon and I just got to be home by Sunday. So we're going to call it kind of the Home by Sunday tour. And so we're going to put together rides where we leave on Thursday or Friday, and then we just come rolling in Sunday late night or Saturday night or Sunday morning, and we're gonna call it Home by Sunday. We think it's cool and kind of catchy type thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and one of those, but part of that is, and we'll kind of announce this in a month or so because I don't have all the details yet. But part of that is um, when we leave on Thursday, say it's Thursday evening, we're going to end up in a city that has what are called Alzheimer care centers or long-term care facilities. And our goal is to find these facilities, you know, in the Midwest or across the country, whatever. And we're just going to go kind of be a blessing to them, you know, on that Friday and go in and take gift cards to the workers and the Alzheimer's unit because, man, they're the unsung heroes. Take care packages to people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Sometimes it's just taking like little lollipops to some of these places, you know, or whatever type thing, you know. So we're going to call it the Home by Sunday tour, and we're going to go visit Alzheimer care centers and stuff like that, and just kind of maybe be a refreshing good news to some of these workers, you know, that are dealing with that stuff. And so there'll be different things we do a part of that. But yeah, in about a month or so, we're going to start kind of announcing some dates and kind of hopefully some people join us and ride with us and hang out with us, you know, and just help us raise awareness. That's the main thing. Is just help us raise awareness. And, hopefully along the way, Denver, we're going to have some families that we pick up that we
Hmm.
sponsor, that Journey 10 sponsors. Cool thing about Journey 10 is 100%, we don't have any admin cost. So, it's just an organization where 100% of what comes in, what goes back out. And so we hope to sponsor some families in the future, families that need some help, and hopefully part of our motorcycle ride is visiting those families, because lots of times with Alzheimer's and dementia, what people don't understand is a lot of those people with Alzheimer's or dementia, related diseases are not in care facilities. They're at home and
Yeah, with
somebody's taking
families.
care of them. And the unpaid, what we call unpaid caregivers, right? They're the heroes. And so we want to start sponsoring some families and showing up and, man, taking grocery gift cards and just visiting. And again, we're kind of stilling that mile monsters mentality of having these people we go around and help. And so that's the goal. And I hope that unfolds over the next couple months. And maybe even people watching this, maybe families that could really use some help, and maybe just use a hand up, or just use some guys riding in on motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? Just use some visits or some help. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to just do this home by Sunday thing and let people go with us and go visit care centers and families that are what we call the unpaid caregivers, and just help people. That's kind of the premise of it, just be a blessing.
Okay, so I got a question. I know that you're all this stuff is just really
Yeah,
getting going for you guys, but
yeah,
have you thought about people to do? I know the best terminology, I think it's like
yeah,
satellite ride. Say they're not
yeah,
from your area, but they're in somewhere else in the
yeah,
country that want to do
yeah,
something to help. Can they
yeah,
do something?
absolutely.
And with you guys
Yeah,
through your through the Journey 10 Foundation, but say do
absolutely.
something in their area, so
Yeah, absolutely.
kind of help grow what you got going on and help
Yeah,
because you're in one part of
yeah,
the country. I'm 2,000
yeah,
miles away. Say I wanted to help do
yeah,
something, or
yeah,
there's people all over the
absolutely.
country. Are you guys going to try to get something going?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. And, I think that's going to happen by word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
because again, there's so many people affected by it. But, even like if, somebody in far northwest corner of Washington, like you said, hey, I want to do this. I really, then absolutely it would be something like, hey, man, go for it. Let us help you. Or there may be people that say, hey, I know a family that could use some help or use some assistance or whatever. And we just say, hey, to that motorcycle rider, hey, will you take care of that family? Will you be the one that visits them? You're in their area. And Journey 10 will just resource you to do that, and we'll come alongside each other. So yeah, I hope it's really organic. I hope
I think
that
it'd be
I
super
hope that
cool.
I hope that people reach out to us from Florida and Boston and Washington and just say, hey, I want to be a part of this. And I mean, I kind of have a dream, and I haven't voiced it, that maybe by the end of the year we would have, 15 or 20, riders across the country that are riding for Journey 10 and helping families and going to long-term care facilities and delivering stuff to the workers. And so just becomes a part of, something like that. Kind of a lofty goal, and I want it to happen organically. But yeah, the point is for it to just happen all over the country. And I think it can, because lots of people are
Oh yeah.
affected by it. So,
I think you could put together a little rider. 10 Journey 10 business cards. I
yeah.
mean, I know within like the motorcycle community, especially the long distance, everybody has their stickers. So you get some stickers
Yeah,
made.
that's
They're
right.
getting
Yeah.
put up in different places, and
Yeah.
I mean it's a great way of marketing. Stickers ain't that bad, but no, you get a little
Yeah.
kid, maybe the like my watch got the little wristbands. You get a couple business cards.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
rider reaches out to you, hey, I would like to do something. So
Yeah.
you drop a little thing, hey, here you go, and
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great ideal, man. And I hope that we can do something like that. I think what we're working on now is kind of what you're talking about, having kind of a portal that people go to and sign up, and it'll
mm-hmm.
be on the Journey 10 website. It'll say Journey 10 Riders, and it'll kind of have a thing. And, and our goal, I love the idea of kind of a welcome package or something like that. So maybe you can help us figure that out. But
I'd
I
love to
think that
help
would
out
be
any way I
cool.
can.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And just to kind of resource guys with materials and things they can do, and and guys and women, and I just, again, we're just getting started. So it's kind of the infinite stages of figuring it out. And that's the deal. If there's riders across the country that kind of this tugs at their heart, they say, I want to do that, man, you can come alongside us and help us figure it out because we are so new to this. And just like the idea of the welcome package, I hadn't really thought of that, but I think that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, little things you do, but no, I mean, I'd like I say, I'd love to help however I can, especially when Alzheimer's, in dementia.
Yeah, yeah,
My wife, she owns her own business, house cleaning business. She's had some
yeah,
clients, has a lot. Some of her clients are
yeah,
older couples and elderly individuals, and she's had to face that. A couple clients that got it, and
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking to see people go through that had amazing
Yeah.
lives, and all of a sudden, they through no fault of their own, they don't get to remember that stuff, and
Yeah.
it just slowly,
Yeah.
they fade away, and it's sad.
Yeah. It is sad, man. And if we can be a bright spot to a family or a bright spot to even somebody with in the early stages of Alzheimer's or dementia, my wife likes to say something. She tells people this a lot. At every level of dementia, there's still some remaining ability,
Hmm.
whatever that remaining ability is. And if we can just show up and just in that moment, whatever moment they're in, be a bright spot of guys and gals showing up on motorcycles and being there for a family. If we can be a bright spot, dropping off groceries to a family, providing some respite care, for a couple of hours, just stuff like that. It's kind of that felt needs thing, right?
Hmm.
Like you see a need, fill it. You know. And man, I hope we can do that way beyond Oklahoma. I hope we can do it all over the country, and um, I hope it's something that spreads. We're just trying to build a network, honestly, a network of bikers that say, hey, let's go. This is not happening right now. As far as I know, there's not a group of guys and women on motorcycles going to visit families that are struggling with Alzheimer's or dementia or care centers. And so I think this is a need that can really make a huge impact. And I think that's what most of us do this for, if when we ride for causes, we want to make an impact. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited about that opportunity.
Well, no, listen to you talk, I can tell that you really have a passion for it, and
Yeah.
you want to see the growth. And I think you've
Yeah.
you and your wife have came up with a great plan. And I know reading through your post, you credit a lot of this to your wife and
Yeah.
Nicole, correct?
Yeah. Nicole.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
is a
Wife
big
of
driving
17
factor.
years.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations. But no, it's
Yeah.
cool, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy watching the growth of
Yeah.
what you have now that I've got to know about it more, and the
Yeah.
friendship that we've been able to make in this time.
Yeah.
And no, it's going to be really cool. I think
Yeah.
I think you're going to grow, and everything
Yeah.
starts small, and that's where it all begins.
Yeah, that's right, man. We have an expression in our family and our church, and we just always say start small, but start now, you know? And I think a lot of things in life you can look at like that. Start small, but start now, don't delay, right? And so that's kind of what Mark really helped us through that. This was kind of his ideal to once Journey 10 started, hey, why don't we ride for Journey 10? It's like, okay, we don't have it all figured out, but let's just start. And so
Got to
that's kind
start
of how
somewhere.
got to start somewhere. And so these home by Sunday rides and kind of building out a network of riders. And, I hope there's a day a year from now or 2 years from now, I hope there's a day we have gatherings where we get to bring everybody into a certain place and ride together and hang out. And I just hope it turns into something cool, man, where we can build relationships and, um, because we get in it to help people, but it's also, you know, riding motorcycles and community and it just that stuff is really awesome.
Yeah, the Journey 10 Home by Sunday tours. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. So
I think
it's
that's a
cool.
catchy phrase. You're home by Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, home by Sunday. And again, I pastor a church, so I got to be home by Sunday.
Well, and
So
it's it's a catchy phrase, and
yeah.
it's all about the little things that can attract attention. And
Yeah.
no, I think that's a cool little theme. And
Yeah.
man, like I say,
Yeah.
everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. I think it would even be cool like doing something cross country, like a Journey 10 cross country ride where we kind of do the handoff thing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody starts on the
Exactly.
East Coast and
Yep.
then all the way to the West Coast, or starts in Key West, Florida, all the way to the Olympian Peninsula. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
Yep.
I think it would be cool to do those handoffs and um it doesn't take a huge time commitment from one person. It takes a little bit of a time commitment from a lot of people, and so I think that would be really cool to do some stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and again, we're just getting started. So, and anybody that can just help us figure that stuff out, it's it's a cool time to be on the ground floor of something.
Coast to coast with Journey 10. There you go, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be really awesome. Mark and I've been talking about that for a few weeks about trying to set something like that up. And then, you and I've talked about eventually one of these home by Sundays. We want to do a iron butt out of it and, have hopefully get a specialized iron butt certificate or something like that, and
Yeah.
so um, hope we can set something like that up. So, it'll all develop over the next year or so and probably keep changing and keep developing. But I think it's going to be something fun and something life giving and something impactful. Uh, because again, you don't come across many people who haven't dealt with this or been affected by it, and so we can
Yeah.
mix two passions, mix riding motorcycles and helping people. And man, that's a pretty good life if you can do those things.
And as you go, I mean, things going to change because you
Yeah.
want to you're going to have that growth and
Yeah.
adapt, and no, it's going to be
Yeah.
really cool, man. I'm excited to myself getting to know more about this,
Yeah.
and hearing the
Yeah.
passion you have and what you got going on. Like I said, man, I'd love to help how I can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited, and what's cool about the long distance community is just learning from each other. You and I were talking before the deal about just, tents and cots and stuff that a new guy like me doesn't know about, and so it's just we get to learn all this stuff from each other, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, I did the same thing when I went in 22 when I went to the Hokahay send off in Rapid City. It was,
Yeah.
nerding out looking at everybody's setups and looking at the bikes like, holy cow, this and,
Yeah.
some guys, I mean, infrared cameras and FLIR cameras in the front and some of the stuff people
Yeah.
have. It's like, holy cow, this is freaking
Yeah.
amazing. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, it's little things. Okay, hey, what's your sleep setup? Because,
Right.
that's part of me doing this. Like, get to interview some of the, your
Yeah.
Hokahay guys, the super experienced long
Right.
distance. I mean, I don't want to say just the guys that got thousands and thousands of miles, but anybody getting into it, everybody has a little
Yeah.
system. And for me, that's
Right.
part of, I'll geek out. Okay, what's your sleep system? What's your little camp setup? And no, it's fun to learn. And it's like, well, I got this. And, you can compare and you're forever learning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I
I've been
love
doing
it,
it for
man.
years, but I'm not the most
Yeah.
experienced person by any means. I mean, I enjoy doing it and I have fun, but with
Yeah.
anything, it's like you're always learning. It's an education all the time.
Yeah, when you go places like the taco run costs me so much money, right? Because I walk through the taco run, I see all these motorcycles with all this cool stuff on it, and I come home and
No, it's
start
all
buying
the
stuff.
tacos. Come on now. What are you
Yeah,
talking
well, it's the
about?
tacos. And then you come home and you want new lights,
Oh
Denver, and
yeah.
you want, you know what I mean? The taco
Yep.
run cost me a lot of money this year. On top of on top of the tacos coming home and
Uh,
ordering stuff.
that's one of the biggest things that I think to me that anybody getting into doing it, especially when you're doing the long distance, you're going to be riding at
Yeah.
nighttime. And the one thing that I've learned because I thought I had great lighting, and then I did some riding with
Yeah.
Hokahay individuals like Shell Federson and
Yeah.
Bradley Thomas,
Yeah.
or one of those two that really showed me the importance of lighting. When they're
Yeah.
riding through the middle of nowhere, Idaho, and all of a sudden they hit their
Right.
Denali's, and all of a sudden it's like daylight. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying a guy's got to go buy Denali's, but having auxiliary lighting, especially at
Yeah.
nighttime, and even running during
Man,
the
I'm
day,
a
because
right.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm
being
a
seen
Denali
is important.
fanboy. It is daytime, nighttime. I'm a fan of Denali. I just got my first set of Denalis. I got a headlight and side lights, but man, I called them and told them what Journey 10 was doing and about my motorcycle. And they went over the top helping me figure out what I needed. They gave me a discount. I mean, they're
That's
just really
awesome.
good. I love that company.
Yeah,
It's really, really cool. I kind of needed the stuff kind of quick for a weekend ride I was doing, and they said no problem. And an hour later, they sent me a message saying, "Hey, your stuff's in the box, shipping out." I mean, just coan stuff like that. It's
yeah,
hard to find
and
companies like that.
oh, it is, and you can't go wrong. Denali makes an amazing product. I mean, they are some of the, in my opinion, top of the line.
Yeah,
Everybody has their
yeah,
brands, and I
yeah,
got nothing bad to say about any of the brands. I
yeah,
mean, I don't
yeah,
have Denali's. I got a different brand. I thoroughly like
yeah,
them. They're great,
yeah,
and I'm never going to knock anybody's choice because
yeah.
the more light you can have, the safer you're going to be
Absolutely.
at night, and the safer you're going to be during the day. Even for individuals that want to run the lights during the daytime,
Yeah,
because motorcycles were smaller. You know,
that's right.
if
Yeah,
people are yelling at you and complaining, well, guess what? They saw you, so that's a good
that's
thing.
right. That's
That's how I
right.
look at it. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. It's for sure. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say my guilty pleasure is riding at night and a car flashing me, and when they do that, I turn my lights up brighter,
Yeah.
so
Oh, you think those are bright? Check these out. I
shouldn't
mean, dude,
shouldn't do that stuff. Shouldn't do that.
no, I got the custom dynamics. The fog lights on my brake calipers.
Oh yeah,
Then I
yeah,
have my other
yeah.
auxiliaries.
I
I
had
have
those on my
co-light.
Road Glide. I loved them. Yeah.
Yep, and I got the custom dynamics. I mean, shout out to custom dynamics. I had Dave Pabella, the owner and founder of Mon, and we did an
Wow.
episode, and we were talking afterwards, and I thought he's like, hey, I want to do something because they were also a big supporter of Mile Monster. So I
Yeah.
thought, hey, they're going to send me some taillights or something. I get this email the next day with all these part numbers. I'm like, what the heck is
Wow.
this? And I got a hold of, I want to say it was Karen, was her name there. And she, oh no, Dave said we're doing your whole bike. I'm like, you're doing what? She said, oh, those are just ideas. She goes, if you don't like that style, pick something else out. So, man,
Yeah.
I got everything on mine from tail lights to blinkers to my headlights, the fog lights I got. I mean, everything is
That's
custom
cool,
dynamics.
man.
And I will
Wow.
say, if you have an issue, they stand behind their product 100%.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
the module for my rear taillights went funky, and I called them, and dude, I had a brand new one the next day. I'm like, you want this one back? No, just throw it away. Don't worry about it.
That's
Okay.
cool. Yeah, man. Companies like that are rare, so it's cool when you find them.
Yeah. And I was floored. I never expected that whatsoever. I was quite cool. Maybe I'll get a new taillight. I didn't expect everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's really cool.
But it's cool knowing you get companies like that understand the drive. And,
Yeah.
like my big thing every year we do, for me, it's Mile Monsters. And, we got Monsters Over
Yeah.
Mountains we're riding at night and all that. And so, no, they stepped up and it was pretty awesome. I was highly impressed.
Yeah, that's cool. And that monsters is it miles over monsters mountains
Monsters Over Mountains.
mountains. Yeah, what a cool deal, man. 1,500 miles, 36 hours.
Yep.
That's pretty
I think
amazing.
this year's like I want to say it was like 1568.
Okay.
Which, and actually, the funny thing we're talking earlier about Frankie, when we're trying to come up with names, I'd come up with one, and Frankie said, "Why don't we just do a Monsters Over Mountains?" Because I had something different. I was, hey, what about this? And so actually, he came up with a name.
That's cool, man. That's cool. How many people do you have come do that with you?
The first year, there was like me and five, and last year there
Yeah.
was, I think we started with 12.
Wow, that's cool. It's grown.
Which is cool. I mean, it increases the challenge because, when you're trying to push miles, you get more people. Fuel stops going to take a
Yeah.
little longer, but,
Yeah.
it, drawing the attention that it does, and, a lot of the individuals that come, guys and gals, are experienced when it comes to, IBA stuff,
Yeah.
time limits. And so, they're all pretty, fuel stops generally don't take as
Yeah.
long. There's been a couple times, but, things happen, or, we've had to ride through some extreme heat. And it's like,
Yeah.
you need that shade for a minute, get some quick hydration, and try
Yeah.
not to take too long. But it's pretty cool to see that people want to come do it, want to come up to the Northwest, and
Yeah.
like Richard Simmons, who lives down by you in Oklahoma, he's coming back up again,
Oh,
and
that's
it's like,
awesome.
holy
Is he
cow,
in Oklahoma?
yeah,
Really? Okay. Where at? Do you know?
yeah. Let me look up. I'll tell you. Where is Richard?
Of course, Oklahoma, man. We're so everything you can get anywhere in Oklahoma pretty quick,
He's
unless it's
in.
the Panhandle.
I might say this wrong. Altus, Oklahoma.
Altus. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Altus. I told
Where
you.
the
I'm
Air
probably gonna say
Force,
it wrong.
yeah, the Air Force base is there.
Yeah,
It's
he's
one of the Air
retired
Force
Air
base.
Force.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I've been through Altus several times, man. It's not too couple hours for me. So
Yeah, and he'll be riding the Hokahay this year.
really,
Yep.
that
So
that's
he's coming
awesome,
back
man.
up. I think he was saying that'll probably be his last practice run. I think last year when he came up to do it, he was doing he did Monsters Over Mountains, and then I'll say like within 6 days of that he tacked on another 5,000 miles for
Yeah.
another little his training runs as he called it.
Yeah,
Practice.
man, I'm fascinated with the Hoka. I didn't hear about it for the first time until 2 years ago, and I can't wait to follow it this year and watch the trackers and hopefully somebody does a cool show. Was it Hopper, and maybe
Oh,
K
K
Solo? They did
Solo.
a.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was cool. I hope they
Hey,
do that
Fozzie,
again.
the great motorcycle rides of Washington. What's going on, buddy? That is a great page. Anybody coming up to Washington, you want to, you're traveling through, you want to see if something's going on, you want to check out an event. the Great Motorcycle Rides Washington Facebook page. He has a calendar you can click on and has every event going on within Washington. It's a pretty cool, Google Calendar you can check out. So anybody wanting to do a ride, if you're coming this way and you want to meet some fellow motorcyclists from the Northwest, you got to check out the Great Motorcycle Rides of Washington page because it's pretty freaking cool what he's got. He puts a lot of time and effort into it, and it's
That's
a great
cool.
dude.
It's awesome.
But yeah, last year, and I shouldn't say last year, would have been 2 years ago. Hoka Hayes every other year. The
Yeah.
commentary, yeah, Hopper was on there, and you had K Solo, and
Yeah.
oh, it was addicting. I'd get up in the morning, hey, they're on. It's like, I mean, I'd be at work,
I
I
would
got my
too.
phone on, listening to it, and oh, you
Yeah, I
get
did
so
too.
addicted, even watching the map. Like you go to bed, okay, where's everybody out? Next morning, you're opening back up, and
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I want to do it desperately. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big commitment. I mean, the
Right.
time off, and then also financially, and after
Yeah.
following it for a number of years now, and my wife. I mean, it's. I think last year was the first year that there wasn't somebody that got seriously hurt or fatalities because
Yeah.
people, push themselves.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my wife doesn't like the idea of me doing it, but
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's also you got to know yourself, and I think that's part of
yeah.
the intriguing part of it is mentally and physically knowing
Yeah.
your limits both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I
My
really, I
wife right
really,
there. I was
I
watching
really,
Shell's tracker like crazy. Shell, aka Rider of Dick. Shell's awesome. We love Shell.
yeah, I would love to do it one day, man. I'd love to do it in, 2028 or something, but you just never know. I think it's really cool. And man,
Yeah, you
what a
gotta.
way you got to really take yourself on a journey.
And that's part of me. It's and what I like is it's not something that anybody can do because you have to apply for it, and then you got to go
Yeah,
through a
that's
series of
right.
interviews. I mean,
That's right. Yeah.
which I is smart on their point because it's not for
Yeah.
the everyday person. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
serious challenge, and
Yeah. Those
I
people are the real deal. No doubt about it.
100%.
It's amazing watching them go through that and use the paper directions and sleep next to their motorcycle. And man, it's
To
just
me, that would be the hardest part. And even I remember one time talking to with Hopper, and he said that's one of the most fatiguing parts because you're constantly watching signs and watching roads. He goes, that's one of the hardest things is you really have to pay attention
yeah, I bet.
because like
Man.
the turn on State Route 40, and within 50 miles, there's little
Right.
signals greater than or less than you're going to turn. Well, that's a big 50 miles that's a good stretch,
Big
and
deal.
there are different things like that, and so yeah, I can
Yeah.
totally understand it, but it is you know the the ultimate adventure for the motorcyclist, I guess you could call
Yeah.
it to me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
admire all those guys and women, and man, just the skill it takes to do that is just incredible.
between the IBA rally and the Hoka, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool that they do them on opposite years.
Yeah, I
Hoka
do
is
too.
even numbers, IBR rally is odd numbered.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah. It's cool to live vicariously through those people and watch them and see it all
Yeah.
unfold.
Yep.
Now you said you had went to the starting line. Do you do that every time or just do it that one
No.
year? Okay.
It was one of those funny things in 22. Craig Johnson, aka Wild That's Craig,
Yeah. Yeah.
he he had called me. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you ought to come out, to Rapid City and for the send off." He's like, I mean, he's fuck, everybody. You've had, the top 10 from 2020 have all been on your show. You've met other people, and he goes, a ton of people. I'm like, well, when is it? And he gives me the dates. I'm like, dude, that's my wedding anniversary. So I'd really have to sweet talk my wife. So I'd talk to the wife. Hey, what do you think? And I think I sprung into like, want to go on a fun trip for an anniversary? Where are we going? South Dakota. And so we did. And, it was an awesome trip. My middle son had just bought a street bike. So, he
Okay.
grew up on motorcycles and he'd been riding on the road for like 6 weeks when he took a trip to Sturgis with me. My wife
Wow.
and her girlfriend followed in the car, and me and my son, we rode the bikes out. And funny thing, I mean, I had known Jason, aka Iceman, for on social media, a year or two. Shout out to him
Yeah.
because these signs here behind me were actually a Christmas present from Jason when I first started this.
Oh, that's cool.
He'd made the signs behind me, but he had rode up to Missoula, and so he ended up staying with us. And I think we stayed in Butte that first night.
Okay.
So he met us at Grizzly Harley Davidson where he had to have some work done to his bike, and he's like, "I'll catch you." So in that process, he did meet Montana's finest state police. They had a nice conversation, but he met us up in Butte, and then stayed with us down in Sturgis for a couple nights. Actually, we stayed at the No Name Campground. Pretty cool place just outside of Rapid
Okay.
City. A neat little campground. We'd rent a little cabin there, so Jason, he'd stayed with us. We all hung out for the weekend, and then went to the send off and met
That's
everybody
cool.
on Saturday the day before, and they're doing tech inspections, and
Yeah.
my bike decided not to cooperate and had to go to the shop and cost me a
Oh
bunch of
my
money.
gosh.
The one and only
Jeez.
time, knock on wood, that my bike has ever been in a dealership to get fixed. But you can't fix a stator and a regulator on the side of the highway, unfortunately.
Right.
And they were
Yeah.
brand freaking new, which was also frustrating.
Oh man.
But hey, Black Hills Harley Davidson, if you're ever in need, that place
Yeah.
is a great place because they were slam packed. If you figure that you got guys coming in from the Hoka, hey, there's hundreds of people there. I pull in there and I think I was talking to Ryan, somebody else. He's like, dude, go downstairs. He goes, you're at the best place if you got to get fixed. And
Yeah.
well, I better go down there before it's too late because this is maybe 10 in the morning. And I go down there, tell them what's going on. They're like, we're packed. I'm like, dude, I'm 1,300 miles from home and I got to leave Monday.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know you guys are not open tomorrow. And so he's like, hey, can you give me a couple hours? I'm like, no problem. And finally at 5 o'clock, the guy shoots me a text, which I'm still there at the dealership. Hey, your bike's ready. And I'm walking down. I seen the guy go out for a test ride, came back in. I'm talking to the service guy. The bike goes back out, comes back in. I'm like, this isn't looking real good.
Yeah.
But they, hand me the bill. I was like, ouch, but whatever. He's like, hey, we got a small problem. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? He's like, well, the brand new regulator we had that we put in there, he goes, it failed. He goes, it's not working. I'm like, okay. Then what's the bad news? He's, well, the bad news is we have another one. He goes, but the box is open. He goes, the regulator was on a Tex bike. He goes, we put it on your bike. Everything is working great. He's like, how about that we don't charge you? I think I want to say it was like $360 for the regulator. He's like, how about that regulator's on us and there's no charge? I'm like, that sounds like
Wow.
a freaking deal to me.
That's cool.
So, then they got it going. And when I got back, I had a little problem because I have the HB 121 auto tensioner for my primary. And the
Okay.
shoe looks just like the stock Harley one, but it goes in the opposite direction. And the mechanic, or the technician, mechanic, whatever you want to call him, he put the shoe in backwards. So by the time I got home, it collapsed my spring. And
Wow.
I
Okay.
took pictures and I'm like, what? Worst nightmare. I'm thinking I lost my bottom end.
Yeah.
So I took pictures. I'm taking everything apart. I called, Black Hills, and they left a message with the service manager, and he called me back, and I told him what's going on. I'm like, hey, I can send you all the pictures. Here's what happened, and he's like, hey, he goes, is this your address? I'm like, yeah. Okay, he goes, I'm going to send you something. He goes, you shouldn't have to work on your bike. He's like, I'm going to refund you money.
Wow.
And so he refunded me half of what my bill was. So, after the new regulator they didn't charge me for, still
Yeah.
right around $1,000. Well, they
Yeah.
send me a check. Like a couple days later, I get a check for $500. I'm like,
Huh.
sweet. The next day, I get another check for $500. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. My wife's like, that's a mistake. I'm like, you're right. It probably is. So I called the service manager. He's like, yeah, hey, I got your check. He's like, awesome. He goes, nobody should have to work on their bike when it leaves our shop. He goes, we stand behind our work.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I'm like, hey, this is super cool. I
Wow.
said, here's my only issue. He's like, what's that? I'm like, I got your refund check. He's, hey, great. I said, then I got another one the next day for the same amount. He's like, would you mind shredding one of those? I'm like, for what you guys did and standing behind your work and doing what you did to help me, I said, absolutely. I said, as much as I
Yeah.
love free money, but
Yeah.
no, that's absolutely. And no, to me, that's, when a shop will do that and stand behind their work because
Yeah.
they're, 1,000+ miles away. And
Right. For sure.
I rode the bike that far. My thought was they're going to tell me to have a nice day, but they stood behind everything. In my opinion, they made
Yeah.
everything right, and I would recommend them anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool when you find a good dealership like that that'll take care of you,
Yeah.
we have a good dealership here local that really takes good care of us, and so
So it
it's
sounds like
exciting when you
Fozzie's
can find
been
that. And
to the No Name Campground. It is a cool place.
yeah,
Great campground. I mean, they have a full restaurant in there. The swimming
really.
pools, hot tubs,
And that's
laundry
in
facilities,
where's that at? In the
showers.
Black Hills?
Yeah, it's right between Rapid City and Sturgis. It's actually next door
Okay.
to the Nat. Well, I don't want to say next door, but at the exit you would take going east out of Sturgis at the National Cemetery, they're on that same
Okay.
road. They're just
Okay.
east of the cemetery, but no, it's a great campground.
Okay. Now, do you
We
go to
made good
Sturgis
friends with
during
the
the
owners.
rally?
My wife and I went in 2023,
Okay.
and we had the opportunity. We went and worked for Wild Ass, and that was
Oh,
an
okay.
absolute awesome time. So, hey, anybody right here, you want your Wild
Yeah.
Ass? You
That's
can use
awesome.
that code
That's
D Woods, get free shipping. But tell you what, anybody into really enjoying riding your bike for hours upon hours, a
yeah.
Wild Ass is cheaper than a new seat, and is going to add so much comfort.
Yeah.
They're absolutely amazing, And my wife, we went through the little training session, and I mean, I put tens of thousands, I can honestly say, on mine, and I won't ride without it. They do
Yeah, I
make
have one
that
on
big of a
mine.
difference.
I have one on my Mustang seat right now, man. I love it. So
Oh yeah.
it's really cool.
I mean, there's a lot of times I take mine to work, and I'll use it in my mixer truck too. I have a couple of them,
Yeah.
and no, my wife and I, we won't ride without them.
Yeah. That's cool. I never thought of that. Put it when you drive a lot for work, put it in your regular seat. That's awesome.
Oh, and I wish even my wife, we wish we would have knew about these years ago when kids were playing baseball. Take them to, you go watch a
Yeah.
football game, a baseball game, sitting in the
Right.
bleachers. Take it with you and sit on it. Anywhere that you splat your butt, you can have your
Yeah.
wild ass underneath it, and you're gonna be a whole lot more comfortable.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, thinking of it, promo code D Woods, you're gonna get free shipping on anything from wild-ass.com. If you go wildass.com, you might see things you don't want to, so don't forget that dash. That's all I'm saying. The World Wide Web might show you something you didn't want to see.
Yeah, you got to be type the right URL.
This is very true. So true, but well, shoot, man.
So,
Anything in closing you want to, anything more about Journey 10 that you want to let people know about?
no. No, this was awesome, man. I enjoyed talking and the conversation and
Yeah.
just learning from you for sure. And so, man, just be on the lookout. Check out the website. Eventually, we'll have kind of a riders portal set up, maybe the next month or so, and
I know I was
start
looking. Do
announcing
you
some rides.
do you guys have a Facebook page set up for Journey 10 yet? Because I don't think there
Yep.
was. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I think it's. Let me look here. I should
That's what I
know
was just
that,
gonna look
but
too. I was just looking, but I can't remember.
yeah. Maybe if my wife's on YouTube, she can comment what the Facebook page is. But um, see here. Okay.
Yeah, Journey 10 Foundation. I found it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there we go. See if I can.
So yeah, you can get more information at Journey 10 Foundation on Facebook. Like I said, we've been rolling the website across the bottom, journey10foundation.org. Will get you more information. People can see more of what you guys got going on, and
Yeah,
your whole
absolutely.
mission of what you're building.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Check us out, follow us, and you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff. If you say, hey, I want to help and do something like this and ride and do some of these home by Sunday rides, man, I just love some friends to come alongside us and let's just ride together and have fun and do something for a cool cause.
Absolutely, because when you can do something fun on your motorcycle, it's always a
Yeah.
win.
And just get to know new people. That's really what it's about. Just get to know new people
Yeah,
and new friends and hang out and, just take this journey together.
absolutely. Have an awesome journey for the Journey 10.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, there we go. So, all right,
No
man.
pun
Everybody, hey,
intended.
thank you so much. And Josh, hey, man, thank you. Hey, hang out
Yeah.
for a minute
Thanks,
after we
Denver.
close this. But yeah, thanks for coming along. And everybody, don't forget you can check out Journey 10 Foundation on Facebook and journey10foundation.org on the good old World Wide Web. So, hey, hope you all enjoy
Yeah.
this. Stay tuned for Milepost 163 next week. Till then,
Awesome.
ride safe, have fun. We'll catch all you guys on the